happiest season of all.
Welcome, witches, to today's video, which is going to be a cozy holiday vlog. I was going to wear a pretty Christmas sweater, but apparently I can't find one. And I know there is one in this house somewhere. However, I can't find it. And I can guarantee you, as soon as I film this, upload this, and everything, I will find the Christmas sweater. But for now, a pretty green sweater and a Christmas tree, which might be a little distracting. So if you can't focus on my beautiful face, you can focus on the beautiful tree. With that being said, let's hop into what books we're going to read. We're going to go two very different directions. First, we are going to do Yours for the Season. This is a fun, very holiday themed romance. There's no magic, anything, just a very cozy, fun, holiday themed romance. But it would not be my channel if there was not a little bit of magic sprinkled in, and that is going to be The Wedding Witch. This is the third in the X-Hex series, the last one I know of. I need to read it. I was going to read this, I think originally like November, October, and it just kept telling me you need to wait for December. And with that being said, those are the two books that we're going to read. Yours for the Season by Uzma Jalaluddin is following Samira, a successful attorney, as she's trying to kind of recover from a crappy year and a crappy ex-boyfriend, who meets Tom, a super successful chef, and their worlds collide and they end up fake dating.
Always glisten, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Welcome, witches, to update number 1 of our first book, Yours for the Season. I only have a Kindle version. However, I may be jinxing myself. I am really adoring this so far that I may end up buying this. I'm hoping that it all continues. With that being said, where are we at in the story? We have met Samira. She is a lawyer. She's funny. She's confident in a normal way, not like overly confident, but like not super insecure. She's driven. She works hard. She's at a holiday party and starts kind of like flirting with this waiter named Tom. It turns out Tom is the caterer. Tom is flirty and fun. I like their banter back and forth. What I've really liked about this is like she acknowledges like, yeah, he's cute. He's fun to flirt with, but she's not losing herself in him. She's not like just completely losing her mind. Like she's still staying her own person, which is enjoyable. But she takes a phone call from her mom in front of him, and that's how her mom finds out about Tom. Now, she had an ex-boyfriend that she kept secret from her family, which I'm still kind of grasping with the whole why of that. And her ex-boyfriend definitely is not a good one. Her family is really worried that she's keeping him secret. And then for one of their holiday celebrations, they asked Tom to cater there. She walks in and he is now at her parents' house. That kind of comes a thing. He also has this YouTube. There's a couple of those things. I really like their banter. I really like their fun back and forth. And they decide to start fake dating just kind of for his YouTube on camera to try and get him some TV like gig. And normally fake dating can be kind of rough for me because I'm like, why do you lie to the people like closest to you? Is it just telling them the truth? Because that's always like, that's who gets upset. And I like that she's like trying to like tell her parents and her best friend and her sister's like, this is all fake. This is for the show. She's not like trying to like fake it. However, they're obviously not listening. Long story short, her parents, because of their history, reaches out and gets in contact with his dad and stepmom. And because of kind of both of their messy relationships in history, they all are now ending up in Alaska at his parents' super big cabin. They're staying in like this gigantic guest house. And we're at the chaos. We're seeing the relationships build. I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the pacing. It's very easy to read. I am definitely zooming through it. One thing I will say is like her parents are kind of overbearing, but I think that the author is doing a really good job of showing how they're trying to like genuinely do it, refine those connections. And it doesn't seem like they're doing it for no reason, but yet it's like still annoying. And I also like that there's a big rift between the parents and trying to come together. And so far, nobody's been like, this is all your fault. Like, I take no accountability. It seems like they're both like doing a good job of taking accountability. Don't move the camera, silly Billy. That doggy girl over here. I have a feeling at some point somebody's like not going to take full responsibility, and that's going to be so. Yes, I'm really enjoying it. I'm liking the pacing. I'm liking it's an easy to read. The characters, like I don't have any problems with the characters yet, and I'm enjoying it.
jingle bells swing and jingle bells.
We are 75, almost 80% of the way through yours truly for this season, and I am having to force myself to stop to give you an update because I am absolutely loving this book and Samira and Tom. However, something big has just happened. It's been quite the plot twist. Plot thickens. Don't want to say exactly what it is, but definitely someone is betraying somebody that you would never have expected. And it's like, the fact that Samira's questioning going along with it, I don't want to spoil anything. It's definitely making me question her, given her background. It's all making sense. Anyways, she is now put in a really difficult situation. And it's kind of that determination of like, do I do this, which is very personally beneficial, or do I have enough feelings for Tom not to do it? To me, I'm like, there seems like a pretty obvious solution. However, I've also never had like my home at risk of being lost forever, being homeless, and all that. There's not a lot of smut in this. However, there is one kind of like scene where it like heats up. But what I like about this is the characters feel like they're building a connection to each other and not necessarily just a sexual one, if you will. Yeah. Look who's gracing us with her presence. Hello, Piper. Okay. Yes. Anyways, so it is kind of that choice of, do I do what's ethically right? Not even just that, but it's like, how are my feelings versus how I feel for Tom? Do I get a shit ton of money, or do I take care, like, do I care about Tom, etc.? Sorry, the cat really distracted me because she's so cute. I'm absolutely adoring this book and really enjoying it. I'm gonna go finish it out. I have very high hopes for Samira because I feel like she's a very grounded person. She's very caring. She's very loving. She's a little bit too forgiving, and normally that would annoy me, but I think in this story it's really working for her. Overall, I'm really loving the characters, loving the pacing. I'm loving the actual story behind it and the characters' relationship developments. And I'm also loving seeing her rebuild her bond with her little brother. Anyways, overall, so fantastic. I've been talking for way too long about this, and we have another guest again. Anyways, let's go get to reading, as Piper says, let's do. Want to say hi? No, no meows. Oh, you're so cute.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bell swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing up bushels of fun. Now the
Howdy. So we finished Yours for the Season by Uzma Jalaluddin. I really hope I'm saying that right. I absolutely loved it. There was one point at chapter 28 where I thought, I'm not going to like this. It's going to go downhill for me because of one choice. However, thankfully, because the characters are so great, they redeemed themselves. The author wanted you to have those feelings of just like, she did it spectacularly. It ends great. I absolutely adored everything about this. I adored the characters. I predicted in the beginning that there was going to be a moment where they were going to have an argument saying, this is all your fault. You don't take accountability. And what I really appreciate about the author is she didn't do that. She had those conversations. She made them realistic. She made people go, they took appropriate accountability. They worked it out. It was nice to see a conversation for this where they actually worked something out versus just blaming it on one person, taking the blame and the fault, and then being like, oh my gosh, you're right. I just liked seeing a healthy conversation for some hard topics from the beginning. And I really appreciate the author for doing that. And that just, again, the way she wrote the characters, they're real, they're inviting, they're like, they're all caring, they all want to work together, but yet they're not just one person that they stamp on and you're supposed to be like, oh, whatever. They all the characters are really great, minus the one, but you have to read to figure out which one. Anyways, yes, absolutely adored. With that being said, that means we are going to go into our next book, The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling. The Wedding Witch by Erin Sterling is following Tamsin and Bowen as they get transported back in time into the 50s because they were both trying to steal a special artifact at a wedding that they were going to, and that gets them sent back in time. And now they have to figure out how to get back to the present, and also they fall in love in the process.
Oh, the weather
sight is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. It doesn't show signs of stopping.
Witches, I just got done with my run. I'm about to go hop in the shower before I take Marnie and Piper to the vet. But let's talk about the Wedding Witch that I've been reading so far. So far, Tamsin and Bowen, we start out like learning how they met, which Bowen hired Tamsin to get like special like talismans and like magical things that are really hard to get to. And he's doing that because of his ghost friend Declan, but he keeps alluding like it's his fault, but we don't know why yet. Like why maybe his fault that Declan is dead. I'm guessing he has something to do with that. We don't know yet. So in the beginning, we're just getting some like really fun banter to see kind of a quick snippet of how their relationship built and grew, which is fun. I like their banter back and forth. Again, that must be a thing for me. Then he is asked to go to the wedding because it's Declan's ex-fiance, because obviously they were going to get married, then Declan died and they didn't get married. And he's asking him like on behalf of him, can you please go so at least somebody there remembers me, which he said. And I was like, oh, that's so sad, but like kind of sweet at the same time. Tamsin knows of this like brooch that could get her tons of money if she goes and gets it. So that is how we have now both ended up with them at old spooky castle. We're seeing their first interactions with it, and they're getting like ghostly spirit feelings. They can definitely tell that something's off, something's weird. I really liked their banter back and forth in the beginning. We got a lot of that. I liked the text message and the email aspects of it. I don't think that's going to hold through now, through the whole thing now that we're together and also going back in the past. I slowed down a little bit. I'm glad that we are now at it. This is one of those books that has really big writing, quick, easy, fast-paced read. I like the magical element of it, and I'm curious to see it go further. So I will update you later.
Gave it away this year to save me from tears. I gave it to someone special.
Okay, witches, we are doing a bed update. I really need to do an update because I am so close to finishing this. However, I can't really get up for a proper update because I have such a cute little girl in my lap. Anyways, I am enjoying this. I wish there was a little bit more about them trying to get back to the future or the present, I guess, get back to the present. I just feel like there's just not as much of that, and there's a lot more smut in this, which is fine. They're good smut scenes. You're seeing their relationship. I do really like their banter back and forth. I think they're both funny. I think they're both witty. I like that they obviously have a connection with each other. She's a little obsessive with it in her head, but she's still very strong. She's still an independent woman, all that kind of stuff. So I do like that. I just wish there was maybe, I feel so silly saying this, I guess maybe I wish there was less smut and more magic witchy. I also think it seems like in this many pages, you should be able to get plenty of that depth. But I'm telling you, the writing on these pages is just really big. So not as much into it. It is fun. It feels kind of like an offshoot of the other ones in a different time. I loved the XX, and the Kiss Curse was not as good. And like this one, I like a different direction of it, but I think that this, so far, I'm so close to the end. I feel like I already know what's going to happen. I think I'm pretty satisfied with the wrapping up of the story. Overall, characters are fine so far. At this point, I can pretty much guess they can get back to the future. They're going to solve the Declan thing, because we did find out exactly what happened with Declan and why Bowen feels kind of guilty about it, but I just feel like there's not much depth to Tamsin's past, and I know we've seen her in the other ones, so maybe that's supposed to be more of it. I am enjoying it. It feels like an easy palate cleanse read. I don't know. let's go finish reading it and just finish it out and give my final updates on this. We have not moved because she is still in my lap being the cutest thing ever, but we finally finished The Wedding Witch. I did enjoy this. It felt like an easy, quick read. It's not necessarily one of my favorites. I do like the way it all came together at the end. I liked the characters. They were fun. They were both sassy. They had fun interactions. I really liked in the beginning the use of emails and text messages. I just wish that was scattered more in throughout and not just in the prologue. However, given the fact that they're with each other and they're back in the 50s before email and texting is a thing, it makes sense. So I can't knock it for that. This was a fun book. I enjoyed reading it. I feel like the XX series wraps up. Feels like a good conclusion for it. It was different. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I am exhausted. I just was so close to the end. I wanted to get it done. But now I'm going to bed. And we'll go ahead and do the outro, even though I'm not going to put it together. But I enjoyed both the books. The Wedding Witch was good. I enjoyed myself, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. It's probably not one that I'm going to be raving about. However, Yours for the Season, absolutely loved. And loved the character dynamic, the wittiness. I loved Samira. I loved Samira and Tom together. I think that their relationship was cute. You felt like they were really building a relationship and not just a sexual one, which this one felt a lot more like. So I also think that coming off of Yours for the Season, it was going to be hard for any book to do really good. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this holiday vlog and all the fun, and stay tuned for my next vlogs or anything else on the channel. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next one. Bye, witches.